Oh yeah, we are back. What is going on, guys? My name is Regan Thompson. We are here at Syndicate Store office / podcast studio. It is not where Syndicate Store is. You will never know where it is. It is a secret office location. Dylan is to my right. And then Keaton. I was waiting for you to say it. That was a very slow start. Sorry, guys. All right, we'll pop back into it a bit quicker. I posted on Instagram, on my Instagram account, which is Regan Thompson 23, the little @ symbol first before the Regan Thompson 23, where Bradza 10. Is it Bradza 10? Is that his handle?
Bradza 10.
What's his name? Do you know his name?
I assume
Bradley?
it's Brad.
No, but like I've met this dude and he's a sick dude. I feel bad for not knowing.
Well, I just know him as Bradza.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're calling him Bradza in person.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, true. What am I talking about? It's 2022. We all just call each other by
Yeah, we don't need
Instagram
real
handles.
names.
Yeah.
Kind regards, Keaton to my right and Yak Wheel in the middle here. What's the questiona?
So he's asked 2 questions. So we'll dive into both of those. We'll go the shortest one first. I don't think this needs a massive answer, but what's your thoughts on the Melbourne scene falling off over the last 10 years? And the second question is, would like to hear about some of the things that go into hosting a street jam / events such as ride days and stuff.
The 2 parts of that question answer each other in a way.
Like the fact that nobody in Melbourne knows how to do a event to keep the scene alive.
Yeah.
Mm.
I take personal responsibility for the scene falling off over the last 10 years. Not really, but hear me out. Because, we're Syndicate and we say we're here for the community and the culture and stuff like that. And we are, and we try really hard and put everything into this shit and get busy and don't do things that we should maybe do more of, like organize events. Like it's like we could say, yeah, well, someone in Melbourne needs to, get that together. It's like, well, no, we're here. We say that we're the ones, running this industry and that we do it, hold it down for the people and shit. So yeah, I would say we slept on that, and yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's also obviously hard when we're from a different state and we don't have any like affiliations with anybody there. Like, I think the reason that you were saying it's probably going to be a short answer is because it can pretty much be as simple as there were riders riding in Melbourne and majority of those riders decided to stop riding or move and, that it just shrunk.
Cam went there and lived there for a while and tried to pop it off. He didn't tell me much about that experience, but I don't know how much luck he had. I saw a bunch.
He says he definitely enjoys it.
Saw a bunch of stuff from him in Melbourne featuring other people. I think there's like not that Brad is salty, but I think there's this general salty undertone to the whole, like, things ain't what they used to be and things have gotten worse and stuff like that. And without getting triggered about Math's comment underneath saying, oh, it's the whole industry falling off or the whole scene falling off. It's like what we were talking about in the other episode about certain companies that used to be way sicker and stuff. It's like, yeah, but that's one way to look at it. But also, I look at scootering right now and the community and the scene and the culture and the sport and the financial side of it as a bigger business and stuff like that. Not just for me, for all the businesses in it. And I think it's better than ever. The community, the culture, the parts, the level of videos, the events, like.
Yeah.
So in regards to the follow-up thing under it by Math, I would say that's not a true statement, but maybe for Melbourne, we could say, yeah, I can see where if we're being a bit negative, yeah, okay, Melbourne's like fallen off a bit.
Yeah.
But
I haven't Not that I'm on social media a whole lot, but I couldn't name somebody who lives in Melbourne other than Bradza, actually.
Yeah.
I do see his Instagram post on my feed. And
Max Peters.
Yeah, but I haven't seen anything from him.
Yeah.
From him, nothing shows up on my Explore of him, or I don't know.
It's funny that that's a way of reviewing it, though. I haven't seen a video part from him either.
That's all,
I don't.
But
for all we know, he's
Queensland,
been working on a video part this whole time. I don't know if Max is. I don't know who is and isn't.
But being in Queensland, that's all we can go off.
Yeah,
it's word of mouth and what we see on social media.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I don't hear much from Melbourne.
Rip Fleet Crew.
Yeah. I've got a theory. I'm also looking at Dylan like he's got something to say.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say before, you go into your theory.
Yeah, because it'll be
like, I grew up in a fucking really small place with no scooter scene. So, like, if you ever got, like, a group of, like, 4 or 5 friends to ride with, like, you should consider yourself lucky. You got multiple skate parks, amazing spots. And if you're really that unhappy with, like, Melbourne, like, move. Like, if you don't, you're not happy with riding where you are, if riding means that much to you, then you will leave and chase scootering like I did. I've lived in Sydney, lived in Brisbane. I enjoy Brisbane the most. It's got all my friends and whatnot. Cool scene, but, like, I cared about scootering more than I cared about, the effort it would take to move. So that's just what I have to say, really.
Yeah, and what you said, like, if there's a group of 4 people, like, that is a scene. That's your Melbourne scene right there.
Nourish it.
Depending on what you want out of scootering, I would say, like, the best approach would be to, like, film video parts and, just be a better scooter rider or like, those kind of things. And I would say you and your 4 homies or whoever, you do that. One of you gets a cam, you go out into the amazing Melbourne city. And
isn't it funny? Melbourne?
Yeah.
No scene?
It's crazy.
Can you send, like, all the spots to Brisbane?
Yeah.
What else is funny, I think, is, like, even though the Brisbane scene's popping, there's so many people, I only ride with, like, a handful of people as well. Like,
grass is always greener.
Yeah, like, I probably ride with, like, consistently, like, 3 or 4 people. I've obviously got other friends that don't ride as much that I'd be happy to ride with, but...
I'll try to ride more with you, bro.
But yeah, I don't know. Like,
he's like actually talking about us.
But like in general, like there's a lot of riders up here that are like sick. I'd watch them on YouTube or watch their Instas or whatnot, but we never organise to ride. Like it's nothing personal. It's just I'm more comfortable with my smaller crew.
Yeah.
Like it's sometimes better and more productive.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather not have to wait for 15 or 20 people to hit their trick on the flat bar before I can like get in and try it.
Bro,
100%.
If you don't have a scene, that's
that's
the best. You get more riding to yourself, bro.
But also like, who knows? Like that's like especially what I said. Like I'm not saying like, you should just go out and get a camera and film and be grateful for that. It's like it depends on what you want.
Yeah.
Maybe
he might not even really be associating himself with the question too much and just saying like, what are your thoughts on the scene like falling off? He might not trying to be able to say like that he's suffering because of it or anything.
We're not trying to give you advice.
We are, and we're not. We're just talking about the question because I guaranteed everyone who commented on it, my post on Instagram, that your topic would be brought up on the podcast. But this is a really good one. My theory. Am I right to say that skateboarding is pretty big in Melbourne?
I would say it is.
Am I right to say that Melbourne people are quite cliquey?
Yeah, I see where you're going.
Judgmental, not like
trendy.
Trendy, and I don't want to say Melbourne people are judgmental. I don't mean it like that, but I mean it in the way that the stereotype is portrayed in.
I've lived in Brisbane. I've been to Melbourne, and there is a crazy difference. Just immediately the people that you see and all of the businesses and everything about it is.
It's a hub of creativity and art, and I guess in ways that comes with it, like the bar is like raised a bit, and like if I go to Melbourne, I'm like, oh, am I wearing shorts? Like, what? They're gonna judge me for like not wearing longer pants, or like style matters here. Like, not even scootering, just walking down the street. Like, it's Melbourne. Like, anyway, so for skateboarding to be big in Melbourne, I feel like it would be pretty hard to be a scooter rider coming up in Melbourne. I feel like a lot of scooter riders would feel some pressure, which is, to be honest, that's on them, because you shouldn't give a fuck what other people say and stuff. It's funny, we're like swearing on the podcast, but I'm like saying it quietly when I do.
Yeah, I've like hesitated before swearing.
And no, we're swearing. It's I click not made for kids, and we don't monetize it. We're doing this so we can be ourselves and talk about how much we love scooters. So I think it'd be pretty hard to come up as a scooter rider in Melbourne around like really a real like heavy skateboarding scene, which is like, you know, it was hard to come up in Brisbane around skaters and get called a scooter fag all the time and not let it like get to you enough. And you go to the skate park and bro, 2 places in the world that I've been to a spot where I wasn't allowed to scoot. One was Barcelona and the other was Melbourne. I went to a known skate spot. It's not there anymore. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Is it the
Lincoln Square? Is that?
Oh yeah, I know of that spot.
And it was like, nah, you can't ride here. It was like there was dudes there, and it was just like, yeah, okay. Like
I heard that spot was like a skate park.
You're on a scooter. That might have been just one time, because I think actually I have been there and ridden it. Was that an outledge?
I've got no idea.
Okay, anyway, I don't even remember it that well, but I swear that was like a thing. We went to a spot and it was like, nah, this is like like a skate street spot, and like scooters, nah, you're not welcome. And that only time that's ever happened to me was in Barcelona, twice in Barcelona. One time where the dude was like, oh, you can't, and I did anyway and was real quick and then got out of there. And the other place, the dudes were like, the skaters,
staunch.
Like Cam's like, oh, let me just film this one clip. He's like, okay, one try. And Cam took like 2-3 times, and I'm like filming him, and the guy's like, you guys have to go, and like starts holding his board and shit, and we're like, fuck, damn.
Yeah, wow.
Anyway,
Jesus.
That's my theory. Melbourne.
Yeah, no, that's a good theory.
I feel like skateboarding, and it might be that don't ride a scooter, ride a skateboard. That might be a bit stronger there.
Yeah, and it's just like whatever's trendy is just naturally going to kind of grow in an area like that. Yeah.
But I still think, imagine if scootering did get bigger there with the awesome like artistic influences that city like has and stuff, like you're right in the, you guys just got to break through whatever it is stopping you from, you know, like as if there's not a scene in Melbourne. Like, where are you dudes? Like, comment below, like, so we know you're there, because I have a very hard time believing that Bradza is the only like scooter rider from Melbourne. For sure. Like, are you just too perfectionist to post your stuff, or maybe are you too scared of judgment to post your stuff? But turns out you're actually out there doing it. Where are you?
Yeah. I want to say as well, I think this is obviously directed to the, you know, the street scene. Like, because there is a poppin'.
I know
a pretty poppin' park scene in Melbourne. Yeah. So it's not just scootering as a whole. But yeah, street riding has definitely gotten a little less popular in Melbourne.
Ben Duncan, why'd you stop, bro? The hell, man.
Will Schmidt.
Will, come on, dude. Max.
Juzzy Carter.
Juzzy left.
Yeah, he dipped.
Left the country.
But
yeah, I can't help but feel personally attacked. You know, Juzzy dog in Australia.
Oh, man.
We don't need less riders here. We need more.
I will say I have said on multiple occasions that in scootering for for a long time, I have felt like I'm a real estate agent for Brisbane. Like, it's always been in my mind to like get riders here, even for a visit, to move here, whatever. It's like, and like I'm like, I have my business invested in that. I have my friendships invested in that. Like, it is way more just beneficial for me and what me and my friends do to have more of us around. Like, but yeah, definitely got to a point where a lot of people did come to Brisbane, and you kind of go like, oh, overload, like that's man, we blew up our scene. Like, shit.
There have been many times where I've been like out of scootering for a little bit, whether it's months or weeks, whatever, and I go to a session and there's just like tens of people, like 30, and I'm just like, I can't ride in this environment. Like, I thought I was going to go ride with like, Regan, Reese, Cronell, and, like one other person, like, like a small amount of people. And no, it's not the case anymore in Brisbane. It's like,
Dude, I remember one time when Kai was up for a visit before he moved here, and I think Kai posted on his story, or Nathan posted on his story, like, we'll session the city, meet at Paddo. It was like a street jam, and it was ridiculous. Like, there was like 50 people there. I think this was in like 2019 or something.
Yeah.
It was crazy, and I hated it. I can't ride in those environments either. Like, I think I just like took one or two friends and just left the group because it was just too hectic. So,
For sure.
I don't know. I just think I would prefer riding with less people.
With just me and Keaton.
Pretty much.
Is what you were going to
I was
say?
going to say that's a good segue. A little mini street jam, you reckon?
I mean, this whole thing's a segue.
Yeah.
It's a question, so it's not really a segue.
Yeah, so the other question was what goes into holding a street jam / event, I guess.
Nathan or Kai posted it about it on their stories.
Exactly. Well, it goes, that's like honestly one of the first answers, like the reach. Like, you need to be able to advertise it so, you get the turnout you want. I would say, don't be afraid to hit up companies to sponsor your event, I think that's very important. Unless you want to put your own resources into the event, you do need sponsorship, and a lot of companies will be happy to sponsor your event.
But you're right. I think the reach comes first because, like obviously a company wants to know that they're, not giving out $500 worth of whatever
to a 10-person jam.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then, everybody just cashes out.
Well,
yeah.
I think companies should support even a 10-person jam anyway.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying.
Not in a way that...
Not all will.
Yeah. Maybe not in a way that those 10 people all get free components for not doing anything.
Yeah. Like, Bradza, find 5 spots. One should be a meeting spot, and that is a good spot for everyone to meet without getting kicked out and being crab and drawing too much attention at the start of the day. Find a ending spot that is pretty similar, like, hey?
That is a banger.
Yeah, that is pretty similar in the way that it's like, maybe a big rail in a big public park, like, as you and rest in peace your front teeth know about Botanical. We've got that big... I feel kind of bad that was slack. But I've seen him since and he's like,
Gnarly.
We've got Botanical as a good ender spot, and we normally use like those round mani pads as a good starter spot, and then you pick 3 spots. Most years we try and change it when we do it in Brisbane, the 3 spots you're going to do throughout the day. Get me a photo and an address of each of those 5 spots and email it to me, regan@syndicatestore.com.au, and a proposed date, and we will do it. And that will be, our attempt at making up for what we were saying at the start, that, Syndicate meant to be there for the scene and help building up the scene and hasn't done anything for like Melbourne and the Melbourne Riders. So we will fund like the whole day and the filmers and all the prizes, and make sure that like a good chunk of our crew from Brisbane comes. I may personally not be there because I have a little baby and a wife, and I just am not sure if I'm ready to get back on the traveling game in that sense, but I will have my people see your people.
Crazy.
We'll do it. Like if you go to the initiative and don't be slack with that. Like Google Earth is fine if that's what you need to do to find the good spots, but find the right spots, map out the day, propose a date, make sure it's not like a day that Melbourne's got some crazy other thing on that it's going to clash with or something, and we'll do it.
Yeah.
That's how you do a street jam. You pick 5 spots and a time to start and post it.
Fuck yeah.
That's what goes into it. Yeah.
Sick.
Melbourne Street Jam coming soon.
Yeah. I reckon that sums it up.
Yeah.
So shout out Bradza for commenting.
Yeah.
Thank you for those ones.
And I hope you are still riding.
Yeah, I've been seeing clips from you on the IG. So,
dude, I saw him do a finger whip front 50 on a ledge the other
bring
week.
That up right now. No way.
Yeah, it was like out of a.
Hey Jamie, bring that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was out of like a bank or something, but still.
What? How far back do you have to go?
It's this one.
How many fingers did he post? Oh my
Wow.
god.
Jesus. Okay,
No.
I didn't know you had.
Dude, also, doesn't Melbourne have freaking amazing parks too?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that finger front 50 had me gasping when I saw that. I was like,
What's his
Jesus,
recent?
dude.
What's his more recent?
Keep killing it.
If that was an oldie, what's he doing? Damn, song's currently unavailable.
Oh.
Big flare. Wait, is that him? Or
I have
is it
no
also
idea.
a mate? I think that's him. He had a mate in it.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Second flare.
what?
Ooh, flare bar?
This is the first
I
time
didn't know
hearing
you
of
had
this.
that.
Nah.
I didn't know you had that kind of riding, dude.
5 whip.
God damn. Bradza 10 at Bradza 10 on Instagram is killing it. Go and follow him and check that shit out so you see the clips that we just saw.
And the street jam that he'll be posting about soon.
Yeah, Bradza will be the man to speak to about that, and Syndicate maybe.
All right, sick. Well, thanks for your questions. They were fun to answer. Hope it helped you gain some insight on, how
Hope
to.
we didn't go too hard on the scene stuff. It's not like
Yeah.
I feel like we're getting pretty aggressive into it at some of those statements, but I just get fired up, man.
Hope you gained some insight on the street jam question. Hope that answered, what you're looking to find out.
Thanks everybody for watching.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace. Laters.